Welcome to NarrativeNook where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening.
At that moment, Serena watched as Dora approached with 2 steaming cups of coffee, while June followed close behind with a platter of pastries. She flashed a warm, polite smile. Miss Cooper, please have some coffee and snacks to start." Dora had just set the coffee in front of Florence when, in a fit of rage, Florence slapped the cup away. The scalding liquid flew toward Serena, soaking her clothes. Dora was petrified with fear. "Serena," she rushed over, frantically dabbing away the stains with napkins. "It's fine, just go on, both of you." It was the dead of winter, and Serena was bundled up in thick clothing that easily shrugged off the coffee's heat, leaving her with nothing more than a wet garment. Yet, she feigned a look of helpless pain, as if scolded, sending the maids away in a grand gesture of protecting the innocent. Alone, she would face the wrath. Bowing, the maids had no choice but to retreat. "Stop with the theatrics." Florence snapped, seeing right through her. "With all those layers, you think you're burned? Just tell me how much money you want. Pack up and leave today, cut ties with my son, and name your price." "Mrs. Cooper, my relationship with Martin isn't about money." Serena's eyes filled with crystalline tears as she spotted the maids secretly recording the scene. "I truly love him. I want to be with him, to never part. Spare me your pathetic act. I feel sick just looking at you. You talk of love with that mouth? Don't tarnish such a sacred word. You're with Martin to further your own selfish ends, a selfish, conscienceless, ungrateful liar. We've made it clear we don't like you, and yet you have the audacity to stay? Are you trying to ruin my son before you're satisfied?" Tears fell down Serena's cheeks, her expression the very picture of innocence and sorrow. "Mrs. Cooper, how could I ever harm him? I don't have time to do anything but love him. If it were before, I could have walked away from Martin, but in these past months, I've fallen for him. No amount of money, not 100 million, 200 million, not even $1 billion could outweigh a single hair on his head. Can't you stop being so revolting? Martin's not here, who are you performing for?" Diana couldn't bear it any longer. "Just leave today, and consider this mansion bought anew by us. 50 million should suffice, right? Mrs. Cooper, please don't force me. Even in death, my love for Martin wouldn't wane, not even a bit. In my next life, and the life after that, I still want to be with him." Diana and Florence were beside themselves with fury. This bitch wouldn't let go of Martin, not just in this life, but she was claiming the next and the one after that too. "Mrs. Cooper, have some coffee." Again, Florence swatted the cup, spilling the coffee over Serena's clothes. Internally, Serena was jubilant. This was her plan all along, to goad Florence into dousing her with coffee. Florence's hand flew up in a fit of rage, and the entire platter of pastries crashed onto Serena's face. The delicate treats tumbled down her collar, onto her lap, and scattered across the floor. Gritting her teeth, Florence demanded, "I'm asking you one last time, are you moving out today or not? Mrs. Cooper, you've got a heart condition, don't work yourself up. If you don't want me living here, I'll move out." Serena responded with feigned concern, "But to leave Martin, that I simply cannot do. Even if you sent me to a countryside cottage, cut off from transport, living on bread and water, with no one to wait on me, I'd accept it all, just let me be with Martin." Florence was fuming. "Fine, you won't leave? Someone throw her out." The 2 housemaids were too terrified to show themselves. "Dora? June?" Florence glanced around, astonished that they were defying her orders. She turned to the bitch before her. "You've got some nerve. You've been here a few days and you've already got my people on your side? All right, today, I'll personally see you out." Florence stood up and Serena, with tears streaming down her cheeks, clutched at her clothes and pleaded, "Mrs. Cooper, I know you dislike me. Why not hit me to vent your anger? Beat me once, 10 times, 20 times, as long as you let me stay with Martin, I'll endure anything." "Serena, can you spare us the theatrics?" Diana stood up as well, moving to push her wheelchair. Serena pressed her hands against the armrests and flung herself forward onto the ground, dropping to her knees before them. "Mrs. Cooper, Miss Cooper, Martin and I are truly in love. Please bless us." Serena even went as far as to bow her head to the ground. Florence was stunned by the display of melodrama, not expecting the act to reach the extremes of kneeling and bowing. "Today, even if you split your head open, you're leaving Martin." "Diana." Diana immediately stepped forward to help lift the woman back into her wheelchair. But Serena played the part of a limp ragdoll, sprawling on the ground, refusing to budge. "Mrs. Cooper, Miss Cooper, please don't be like this." Serena flailed her heavily bandaged hands, pretending to strike them carelessly, her long nails deliberately grazing their wrists and the backs of their hands. "Serena." Diana was truly enraged. After enough thrashing, Serena clung desperately to Diana's leg, sobbing theatrically, "I really love Martin." Florence couldn't pull Serena away. She tugged at Serena's clothes, even her hair, but Serena wouldn't let go. "Have you no shame?" Florence was beside herself with anger and slapped Serena on the shoulder. "Mrs. Cooper, you might as well kill me. As long as I'm breathing, I won't leave Martin." Florence launched into a physical tirade, and Diana joined in without restraint, their fists and feet raining down. "What are you doing?" At that moment, Martin, having heard the commotion, rushed in. He pushed his mother and sister aside and tenderly helped the woman on the floor. "Why are you wet? What happened to your clothes?" In a panic, Martin took off his suit jacket and draped it over Serena, noticing her shivering and disheveled appearance. His heart felt as if it was being ripped out, overcome with anguish. "What on earth have you done to her? Who sent you?" "Martin, what are you doing back? Weren't you supposed to meet with that big-shot business partner today?" Serena, gently placed on the couch by Martin, pushed him away and said, "Don't worry about me. They just need let off some steam on me. You go on back, will you? How can you expect me to leave when you're like this? Where's Dora? Where's June?" Martin had never felt so out of control, his anger barely contained. Dora and June timidly appeared, one wiping the spilled tea from the wheelchair, the other from Serena's clothes. "Where the hell have you been?" Martin was livid. He had entrusted Serena to their care, only to return from a brief stint at the office to find her like this? "Don't blame them. It was my doing. They're just earning their wages. Besides, I can take a hit. It's not the first time I've been roughed up. Don't worry. Mrs. Cooper and Ms. Cooper here won't really hurt me. They just needed to vent." "Martin, can't you see she's playing us against each other?" Diana was seething, especially after Serena shot her a provocative glance following her words. "That's enough." Martin no longer wanted to hear her speak. "Just because you're my sister, you think you can come here and lay a hand on my girl? Haven't I told you how much I love her? That she means the world to me." Fuming, Martin first made sure Serena was safely seated in her wheelchair, and then instructed the maids, "Take her to get changed." Dora hurried forward to push the wheelchair. "Don't you have strength? Can't you move any faster? Don't you see her clothes are wet? Do you want her to catch a cold?" Frightened by Martin's tone, Dora scurried along, whisking Serena into the nearby elevator. "You hassle me, fine, but why take it out on her? Can't you see the bruises on her body? She's already hurt, and yet you still lay your hands on her." Serena, hearing Martin's roar all the way up on the second floor, couldn't help but smirk with satisfaction. From the moment she learned of Florence and Diana's arrival, she had wanted to provoke them into action. She knew playing the victim was an effective tactic, and though she took a few hits, it was a small price to pay for securing Martin's deeper affection and accelerating their engagement. Those two fools, thinking they could compete with her? Once she married into the Cooper family, she'd have ample opportunity to deal with them. Serena gestured for the maids to stop, choosing instead to remain in the hallway, observing the situation below. Diana, after being shouted at by her brother, was so upset her eyes reddened. She had never imagined that Martin would be so bewitched by Serena that he would act this irrationally. Florence was equally incensed. In a sudden movement, she slapped Martin across the face. The slap stunned not just Martin but Diana as well. Their mother, who always adored her son, had now resorted to such violence. Seemingly not satisfied, Florence raised her hand again and delivered another slap, trembling with anger. "You ungrateful wretch, Do you want to be the death of us? You think you can stand up to us now that you've grown wings? This woman, you may treasure her, but to us, she's worth nothing. You want to be with her? Fine, you might protect her once or twice, but let's see if you can do it for a lifetime. She thinks she can take a hit? Well, I'll make sure to give her one every time I see her. Florence tossed out those words with a huff, her hand gripping her daughter's as they turned to leave, refusing to spare another glance at her foolish son. Diana glanced back, her eyes blazing red with anger as she spat out a venomous warning. You better keep her locked up forever, because every time I see her, I'll put her in her place. I, Diana, will never reconcile with her in this lifetime. As long as I draw breath, she'll never set foot in the Cooper family's house again. Upstairs, Serena's eyes glinted with a ruthless light upon hearing those words. 10 minutes later, Dr. Leona finished setting Serena's cast, and the maids helped her into fresh clothes. When Martin climbed the stairs, he saw 2 maids packing Serena's belongings. Serena was at the vanity, attempting to remove her earring, but she accidentally touched a wound on her earlobe and winced in pain. Serena. Martin rushed over, noticing her injured ear for the first time. Could it have been from when their mother and sister had lashed out, tugging at her earring? He glanced at Dr. Leona, who quickly bent down, apologizing. Sir, I'm sorry. I didn't notice the wound on Serena's ear. I'll take care of it right away. Forget it. Martin was visibly upset. You may go. Leave the first aid kit. He noticed that Serena had already removed all her jewelry, laying it piece by piece on the vanity, seemingly with no intention of taking them with her. This earring is still on. Martin, I've made up my mind. I'm moving out today. Let's not upset Mrs. Cooper anymore. She has a heart condition, and we don't want to trigger it. Don't worry about me, I can take care of myself. Tears swelled in Serena's eyes as she spoke, her voice tinged with self-reproach. It's my fault. I've done so many things wrong in the past. I never left a good impression on Mrs. Cooper and Miss Cooper. At that moment Martin, seeing the maids still packing in the closet, said with irritation, Stop packing. The maids quickly bowed and exited. It's my fault for not smoothing things over at home, for letting you be mistreated. Martin wrapped his arms around the girl at the vanity, filled with a deep sense of guilt. I just saw the video Dora and June sent me minutes ago. You were kneeling and bowing to my mom and sister. Why would you do something so foolish? He hugged Serena tightly, truly not expecting that this girl would love him so deeply. Seeing how his family had bullied her, even to the point of violence, just to be with him, he was moved beyond words and filled with heartache. You'd rather take a beating than be apart from me. Martin's voice was hoarse with emotion as he gently kissed her lips, his eyes moist. Serena, I love you so much. I love you too. Serena gently caressed his hand, gazing into the mirror at her reflection, trying to appear more understanding and gentle. I just didn't want to upset Mrs. Cooper and the others, so I thought of a solution. We can live separately. I can move somewhere further away. If Mrs. Cooper still can't accept me, I could even leave Summerfield and start a new life in the neighboring city. Her eyes met his in the mirror, seemingly sincere and tender. Don't worry, my love for you won't diminish one bit with distance. Even if I have to live in the shadows, unseen like an alley cat, that's okay. As long as I'm in your heart and you're in mine, that's all that matters. Hearing her say this only deepened Martin's feelings, his love for her growing. You shouldn't have been so harsh with Mrs. Cooper and Miss Cooper earlier. You're all family, Serena said with a soothing wisdom. You're family too. Martin said, wrapping his arms around her tightly. There's no need for you to move away. I'll set a date for our engagement party, and I'll invite all our friends and family to show them you're the one I've chosen to be by my side, the love of my life. But, no buts. A day without you is torture enough. You think I could stand you moving to another town? What if work chains me down and I can't drive over every day? I can't even picture life without you anymore. I'm used to having you right here with me. Holding her close, he continued, You're mine, and you should be standing by my side, basking in the spotlight, not hiding in the shadows, nameless. I don't want to hear such thoughts from you ever again. That was exactly what Serena had been longing to hear. But, she protested, feigning guilt, it's all my fault. If only I were in better health, I could visit your folks more often, take care of them properly. Focus on healing up first. Your body's still recovering. I'll talk with my parents. Martin reassured her, then opened the first aid kit and began to tend to a cut on her ear. Did they hit you here? Serena quickly replied to cover it up, I don't know how it happened. He knew she was protecting them. This wasn't here when I left for work. It only showed up after their visit. You think I can't put two and two together? Martin, don't be upset with them. It doesn't hurt, really. But as she spoke, she winced and hastily added, compared to everything the Collins family put me through, they have been saints. His mind flashed back to the day he had rescued her from the Collins family's basement, battered and barely clinging to life, and his heart clenched with renewed tenderness. At that moment, Dora knocked and said softly, Sir, there's a police officer at the door for you. Martin paused mid-application of the antiseptic, and then resumed, Got it. You may go. Martin, what's going on? Serena's voice was laced with worry. Why are the police here? Just a small matter. Stay still, I need to finish dressing this wound. Have you gotten into trouble? Serena was unaware of the latest trending news, oblivious to their relationship being outed, to the deaths of Martin's men being pinned on him, and to the rumors that he had sabotaged the Collins prize car for her sake. She was anxious that Martin was facing serious trouble, that her lifeline might be cut down after so many efforts she made to cling to him. Had she just endured all that pain for nothing? Don't fret. It's a minor issue, really. Just a formality the police have to go through because of public voice. Martin's tone was light. Are you worried about me? You're my boyfriend. Who else would I worry about? She thought to herself, wondering if she had missed some explosive news that afternoon. Martin wouldn't have done something that would land him behind bars, would he? Surely not, she mused. The Cooper family was too influential for him to end up suffering for a crime. Your family too. Martin said, wrapping his arms around her tightly, There's no need for you to move away. I'll set a date for our engagement party, and I'll invite all our friends and family to show them you're the one I've chosen to be by my side, the love of my life. But, no buts. A day without you is torture enough. You think I could stand you moving to another town? What if work chains me down and I can't drive over every day? I can't even picture life without you anymore. I'm used to having you right here with me. Holding her close, he continued, You're mine, and you should be standing by my side, basking in the spotlight, not hiding in the shadows, nameless. I don't want to hear such thoughts from you ever again. That was exactly what Serena had been longing to hear. But, she protested, feigning guilt, it's all my fault. If only I were in better health, I could visit your folks more often, take care of them properly. Focus on healing up first. Your body's still recovering. I'll talk with my parents. Martin reassured her, then opened the first aid kit and began to tend to a cut on her ear. Did they hit you here? Serena quickly replied to cover it up, I don't know how it happened. He knew she was protecting them. This wasn't here when I left for work. It only showed up after their visit. You think I can't put two and two together? Martin, don't be upset with them. It doesn't hurt, really. But as she spoke, she winced and hastily added, compared to everything the Collins family put me through, they have been saints. His mind flashed back to the day he had rescued her from the Collins family's basement, battered and barely clinging to life, and his heart clenched with renewed tenderness. At that moment, Dora knocked and said softly, Sir, there's a police officer at the door for you. Martin paused mid-application of the antiseptic, and then resumed, Got it. You may go. Martin, what's going on? Serena's voice was laced with worry. Why are the police here? Just a small matter. Stay still, I need to finish dressing this wound. Have you gotten into trouble? Serena was unaware of the latest trending news, oblivious to their relationship being outed, to the deaths of Martin's men being pinned on him, and to the rumors that he had sabotaged the Collins prize car for her sake. She was anxious that Martin was facing serious trouble, that her lifeline might be cut down after so many efforts she made to cling to him. Had she just endured all that pain for nothing? Don't fret. It's a minor issue, really. Just a formality the police have to go through because of public voice. Martin's tone was light. Are you worried about me? You're my boyfriend. Who else would I worry about? She thought to herself, wondering if she had missed some explosive news that afternoon. Martin wouldn't have done something that would land him behind bars, would he? Surely not, she mused. The Cooper family was too influential for him to end up suffering for a crime. Trust me, he didn't want to penalize you guys in the first place. Yeah, right. I've been punished more times than I've had hot dinners over the years. Arabella chuckled softly, passing the iPad across the table. Do these choices look good to you? Should we add more? Come on, Arabella, don't you go playing the penny pincher with me. You've barely scratched the surface of this menu, and it's not like I can't afford a decent meal. Kathy quickly pushed the iPad back. Order away, please don't hold back. We can't overdo it though. Hate to see good food go to waste, Arabella replied with a gentle smile. It won't happen. But don't underestimate the depth of my pockets. Today is all about having a blast. Their private dining room door was ajar, and just then, a passerby caught a glimpse of Kathy and called out in surprise and delight, Kathy. Tabitha? Kathy, spotting her and the younger girl beside her, greeted them with joy. Teresa, are you two out for a meal today? Just the two of you? Yeah, it's Teresa's birthday today. Mom and Dad are tied up, couldn't celebrate with her, so it's up to me, her big sis, to make her day special. Tabitha was a good friend of Kathy's, and Teresa was her younger sister. Hey there, Kathy. Teresa greeted politely, the picture of youthful charm. Happy birthday, Teresa. I hope all your wishes come true, Kathy said, ruffling her hair with a beaming smile. Thanks, Kathy. Who are you dining with? Tabitha peered curiously into Kathy's room and saw none other than Arabella, the talk of the town and Kathy's cousin-in-law. Let me introduce you, this is my cousin-in-law, Arabella. Arabella, this is my good friend Tabitha. Kathy introduced with enthusiasm. Pleased to meet you, Arabella greeted with a smile that could light up the darkest room, her grace and beauty almost ethereal. Tabitha was taken aback. Arabella was even more stunning in person than she had been on the internet. Nice to meet you, Tabitha was still recovering from the shock. This girl was beyond gorgeous. Arabella, it's Teresa's birthday today. I'm going to sing her a birthday song to celebrate. You'll join us in a bit, won't you? Kathy said cheerfully. Of course, Arabella smiled again, her demeanor warm enough to melt snow in Winder, as refreshing as a summer breeze, captivating and soothing all at once. As they left the room, Tabitha couldn't help but whisper to Kathy, Arabelle is breathtaking. No wonder Romeo, who's as cold as they come, fell for her. I mean, casting aside her skills with looks like that, I'd do anything for her. If I hadn't seen her with my own eyes today, I'd never believe someone so beautiful could exist. Suddenly, I feel like I'm just here to make up the numbers. I think she's stunning too. Everything feels better with her around. Kathy grinned, squeezing her best friend's hand. Arabella has so many great qualities, I could go on for days. But you're gorgeous in your own right. Look at that smile and those dimples, totally sweet. Laughing, Tabitha continued their chat as they walked away. Speaking of which, how come your cousin isn't around today? I called his assistant earlier, asked him to keep Romeo occupied for the day. I've tried to take Arabella out a few times, but he always gets in the way. Tabitha laughed. That just shows how much he adores her. But I adore her too. I want to spend more time with her as well. Back in the room, Arabella was finalizing the menu on the iPad when she heard her name called. Arabella? Arabella looked up, and before her stood a woman who exuded confidence and sophistication. One from some wealthy family. She was dressed in a chic suit in limited edition and sporting a stylish beret. The pearl necklace around her neck only accentuated her grace and allure. No sooner had she arrived than she sat opposite Arabella, a smile of pride and superiority playing at her lips. Let's talk. Arabella's mind drew a blank. She had no recollection of such a character. The woman introduced herself. My name is Harriet Monroe. I'm Romeo's childhood sweetheart. Arabella then remembered. Romeo had mentioned long ago that during the Earwood family's power struggle, Harriet, as the darling of the family, was said to have gone missing, a ruse to protect her from danger, while in reality, she had been sent to the safety of the Macmillan family. It just so happened that George and Jennifer were busy abroad at the time and couldn't stay home to look after her. Thus, for a brief period, it was only she and Romeo in the house. Her family's issues were quickly resolved, and she was taken back home soon after. But during the tumult at her family's estate, Romeo was the one who gave her a sense of security. And with his good looks, it was no wonder Harriet fell for him. Although Romeo had rejected her affections more than once, Harriet frequently messaged him. Considering she was a friend's sister and the Earwood family were allies of the Macmillan family, Romeo hadn't blocked her, though he never responded. "I didn't expect to bump into you here, so let's cut to the chase." Harriet pulled a check from her bag and slid it across the table to Arabella. "I want you to leave Romeo. Fill in any amount, the Earwood family can afford it." "Miss Monroe, are you trying to buy off the affection between Romeo and me with money?" Arabella's lips curled into a captivating smile. Harriet hadn't expected her to be so striking when smiling. Her beauty surpassed even what the media had portrayed. No wonder Romeo was spellbound. "I grew up with Romeo. No one knows him better than I do. I'm aware of all his likes and dislikes. If you're so clued in, then you should know he can't stand you. Who gave you the gall to sit here and speak to my cousin-in-law like this? This is the private room I reserved. Did I invite you?" The voice belonged to Kathy, who had just returned to overhear Harriet's attempt to buy Romeo and Arabella's relationship, and she was not pleased out. "You're not welcome here." "Kathy." Harriet frowned, visibly annoyed. "Why must you and Luna always meddle? I'm talking to Arabella, what's it to you? You step into my room to talk to my cousin-in-law without my permission. Besides, she's part of our Macmillan family. So tell me, do I have the right to intervene or not?" With checks having a maximum limit, Harriet couldn't possibly cover the astronomical sum in question. Harriet seethed. "Bella's worth is countless times yours. It's not your place to flaunt wealth in front of her, you clown. Don't you feel shameless? I recall Arabella mentioning last time you tried to seduce Romeo at Macmillan Group and she set you straight. What, got over your bruised ego and ready to stir trouble again? Really, you think you can stop me from liking someone? You and Luna want to stick your nose into my business." Harriet stood up, a mocking smile playing on her lips. "Just wait till I become your cousin-in-law. By then, it'll be too late for you to try clinging to my coattails. With your looks? You think Romeo would give you a second glance? You're polluting the air in here. Arabella, let's find another room." Harriet couldn't help but retort at her words. "Kathy, you're just Donna's daughter, not Jennifer's. Who are you trying to kid with this sibling love act? Let's be real, you're just Romeo's cousin, not his sister. The gap between your families is as clear as day. I'm already doing you a favor by not looking down on you. What gives you the right to strut around me?" Harriet's words were a targeted jab, her sneer ice cold. "You should spend your time figuring out how to class yourself up, get prettier. Even marrying some old guy would be a bit of contribution to your family. Otherwise, you'll spend your life beneath Romeo's family, like lowly ants." A crisp slap landed on Harriet's face. Harriet, in disbelief, clutched her left cheek. "Arabella, you dare hit me?" "I hit you. What, should I have marked my calendar?" Arabella's eyes shone with a cold light. "Kathy told you to leave. Didn't you hear?" Kathy's eyes had welled up with tears, but seeing Bella's bold move, she couldn't hide her surprise. "Since you don't want to leave, let's settle the score." Arabella advanced on Harriet step by step. "My fiancé, you think you're even in his league?" Harriet was fuming. "Romeo is mine, and I won't stop until he says yes." "You'll pay for that slap." Arabella's hand gripped her throat. "Say that again." "Arabella." Harriet didn't expect this wild girl, raised from humble beginnings, to be so uncouth as to grab someone by the throat. Gritting her teeth, she demanded, "Let go of me." Arabella squeezed tighter. "What was that? I didn't catch it. Say it again." "You're crazy." Harriet was struggling to breathe, shocked at Arabella's audacity. "If you don't repeat it, your neck might break, and that can't be fixed." I won't snatch Romeo away. Arabella wiped her hands and looked down at the person sprawled on the floor with a disdainful sneer. I thought you had some guts, showing your teeth and claws like that. Turns out you're nothing. Next time before you strut around, weigh yourself up, don't embarrass yourself so easily. You might not care about your reputation, but think about your family. Harriet bit her lower lip, struggling to her feet. Do you need me to give you the Macmillan family's number so you can go cry to them? Or perhaps you'd rather tattle to my kin? Pick whichever you like. Harriet was seething with rage. Arabella's arrogance was too much to bear. Beside her, Kathy watched with wide-eyed admiration. Bella was badass, so cool. Since you're not in the mood to make calls. Arabella pulled a check from her purse and tossed it at Harriet. Fill it out with whatever you want, consider it compensation for your medical expenses. And while you're at it, maybe get your head checked too. Harriet clenched her teeth with fury. Still here? Want another round? At Arabella's words, Harriet turned on her heel and stormed off. Arabella, you're amazing. Kathy sighed admiringly. She didn't dare make a damn peep. Try to be a bit more refined. No need to talk about the gross stuff. Kathy couldn't help but laugh. Just then, the waiter knocked and brought in their food. Arabella, should we move to a different private room? No need. This is fine. Arabella noticed that Kathy seemed much cheerier than before. Help yourself to more food, Arabella. Taking the tableware, Kathy started to fill Arabella's plate with an assortment of sushi, eager to share. Our family is always compared to Romeo's by others. I know there's a lot of talk out there. Everyone seems to think that we're not doing as well as they are. While munching on the food, Kathy continued, whenever both families attend a banquet, guests flock around Romeo's family, not ours. And in meetings, the executives tend to heed his advice over ours. Kathy poured Arabella another cup of tea, and then added, truth be told, our families have always been close, unaffected by the outside noise. But growing up surrounded by whispers and feeling that difference in treatment, it's impossible to say it didn't affect me. To everyone else, the eldest son's family wasn't as prosperous as the second's, where Romeo had become the wealthiest man in the world. In comparison, their own accomplishments seemed to pale. As she finished speaking, Kathy's phone rang. It was Romeo calling. She shot Arabella a look that screamed for help. Had Harriet run straight to him to tattle? Kathy braced herself and answered on speakerphone, only to hear Romeo's lively voice, enjoying the meal? Kathy was petrified. Did Harriet blab about where we were? Romeo, we didn't do anything wrong. Harriet insulted Arabella, said she could buy you two's affections with money. I told her to leave, but she wouldn't budge and kept hurling insults. Arabella only reacted because she couldn't stand it anymore. It wasn't serious, just a soft slap, like a breeze passing by. Arabella thought, a soft slap? Like a breeze. Harriet's face had clearly swollen, with 5 distinct finger marks. And the marks on her neck were hard to miss.
If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.